As part of our Balanced Mix Design series, we talked to 6 companies about their test equipment. Here is our interview with Matthias Martis from infraTest. So Matthias, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us about infraTest?
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity to introduce our company. Pleasure to do that at this point. We are now here in Southwest Germany. infraTest was founded in 1991, so we have now 30 years of experience in the production and development of testing equipment. Here in the facility in Stuttgart, we mainly make asphalt and binder testing equipment. We have 3 more facilities in Germany. In this facility here, we are able to produce around, at this point, 700 different testing devices. So Hamburg Wheel Tracker is one, asphalt analyzer is one, all the performance testing equipment are one. So we have quite a lot of material here. Normally we have around, it's difficult to say, but we have around 48,000 parts on stock here. So it's more or less, can I say, that a big Lego game to assemble all these things together and get good testing machines.
So Matthias, can you tell us about some of the features of the infraTest Hamburg Wheel Tracker?
Yeah, this machine is it's a very interesting one. I love it very much because it has, our machine has a very special and different design. And I remember when we firstly had it on the exhibition in Washington at the TRB meeting, one of our US customers was passing by watching this machine or seeing the machine. And he said, "Oh my goodness, what a beauty." And this is the thing we still feel when you could see, or when you can see the shape of the machine. As a mechanic and engineer, I say really it's a really nice and complete different design. We don't have these normally shaped machines. Our machine is relatively thin, as you can see, and it's relatively long. We designed it with the purpose that we can fit it just along a wall like a shelf. In the laboratory, lab space is normally limited, so we designed it as small and thin as possible. So we didn't decide for the normal rectangular shape than other machines have. Yeah, it was clear from the start that the impact of temperature changes or temperature will be an extremely critical one. As we know, this is one of the main things when we test asphalt, or when we make long-term performance tests in asphalt, is the issue that we have to establish constant temperatures or temperature ramps, whatever. In this case, it's constant temperatures over the period of the whole procedure, of the whole test. And this is why we designed it with this special thick thermo insulated window frames. As you can see, they are over the whole front of the machine. You can have a look inside whatever is going on. In one hand, on the other one, these windows are really thick, so that we have constant temperatures over the whole or in the whole testing chamber. When I open the machine, what you can see here is the mechanical drive. The drive is installed behind. This is in order to have constant movement over the samples itself. And we have a feature which you maybe see later. We have a completely lifting system here. There's a lift system in the machine, so you can lower and put up and lower the heavy load. Extremely smooth on the sample. On the other hand, you don't have to lift it up. So in laboratories, you not always have the guys with the big arms. So you have guys with thinner arms like me. So after a while, this gets really nasty if you have to put this weight up and down. But the machine is doing it automatically for you. Of course, it's a combined system between rubber and air, and steel wheel and water. This is a stainless steel bath, so we can fill it. Here are the draining systems and the filling systems for water, so you can fill the machine to a certain level to make the normal tests. These are the main features of the machine. The control panel is, for safety reasons, we put it outside on the frame here, because all adjustments you can do on the machine you can only do with the lid closed. So you cannot accidentally start the operation of the machine, because whenever you do something, or whenever the lid is closed, you can do something on the screen. If it's open, you must have extremely long arms to do something, but it will not work anyway, because there is an additional safety switch. So everything is blocked at this point, so nothing can happen.
Do the left and the right side, do they run independently? Will one side lift if one side is still being tested and the other side is complete? Will the machine lift aside while the other side is being completed?
Yeah, this is not a problem. Yes, this is possible. You just can simply run one of the two. We have 3 heating systems inside the machine. One is in the base. Underneath the sample is the water heating system, and behind here in this frame is the heating system for the air, and the ventilation system here on the right side and on the left side is moving the air in certain circles. We normally test it. We do some smoke inside, and we start the machine, and the smoke, we see that it's running like an 8-shaped wind inside the machine. So in order to perform a constant temperature within the complete chamber. So there are, in every side, we have 3 heating systems, independently heating systems, 3 on this side and 3 on this side. Measurement is, there is one central measurement behind the machine, and one measurement is fixed on the sample itself, so we can measure the exact surface temperature with this PD100 system. Yeah, this is we can measure as much as we like. At this moment, we make 15 measurements per side over the central 100 millimeters. What we got a lot of good feedback due to the very small footprint and small shape we have on the machine. You see, it's a very long machine, but it's very thin. So we have a extremely small footprint on it. So and it fits good in a laboratory. You just have to replace the shelf somewhere along the wall, and you can put the machine there. And the typical rectangular shape you have in other products, which is blocking a whole room, is not needed. So with this small footprint of the machine, you can have the machine stand on a wall, and it doesn't take too much place. So this is one thing people love about the machine. The other thing is the draining system is extremely easy. It goes extremely quick, because the draining system, you see the machine has a certain height. So that means that the tank is far away from the floor. So when we make the draining, the water flows up extremely quickly. So we can make the draining of the water in a very good and smooth manner. And the third thing is, it is maybe the most important thing when it comes to research part, or research institutes with the machine. You know, we within the standards, we are talking about Hamburg wheel tracking or rutting test for asphalt and cars and roads. But the first machines of this type we sold to Chinese airports. Because the Chinese airport authorities, they said, okay, we have much more loads on the runways and on the taxiways, so we need more weight or more pressure on the gap of the sample. So we designed the complete machine in a system, so we can adjust this 710 Newton or can increase the weight in steps of 100 up to 1,420. So we can simply double the weight, and in the same time we can make the the thickness of the wheels thinner and thinner and thinner. We have 50 millimeters at this point. We can have 38 and 25. That means at the end, the pressure on the gap is also increased because the moving wheel is smaller on the sample. So you can adjust this machine to every research facilities or any research ideas you need in terms of weight, increasing weight, and in terms of different wheels and different geometries on the sample.
What are the machine's safety features, Matthias?
Yeah, as I said, the most important thing is that we have the operation table, or the laptop here is installed on the lid. So we cannot open or we cannot do any adjustments at the machine when the lid is open. As soon as the lid is open, we are not able to do anything. So the machine cannot run for accidental reasons. And in addition, we have safety switches here on the side, and the machine stops automatically when these safety switches will not be in place correctly.
You would also mention that the machine does the lifting for the weights for you, so that a person doesn't have to lift that the 60-pound weight.
Yeah, it's more or less, it's not a safety requirement, but it's good for your back, you see, because all this what you do here doesn't need to be done, because the machine is doing it automatically with the lifting device which is installed here underneath the weight.
So there's been a lot of focus on AASHTO T324, the most recent version of the Hamburg wheel tracking test for the US. What standards does the infraTest Hamburg wheel tracker meet? Does it meet AASHTO T324, the most current version?
Definitely, yes. This is for what it is designed. And of course, the EN 12697 part 22, this is where the machine originally is coming from. The standard is more or less the same. The shape of the samples are different, but in the meantime, we have so many different frames that it is unbelievable. I think I'm not kidding. I think we have 20 different sizes in frames at this point. We have the standard frames for EN, we have the standard frames for AASHTO, and there are a lot of different, let's say, national regulations where everybody is testing it in a little bit different form. So Chinese frame is different from Vietnamese form, is different from European form, is different from US frame, different from US frame. You open these 3 screws and you put out the rubber wheel, you insert the steel wheel, and then you can operate it like this. And in addition, what you also can change is the total weight here. Now we have this the standard, which is the 710 Newton. We can increase the weight to 1,420, so we can double it with additional dead weight we just put on the machine here. And we have it in 100 Newton steps. You can increase the weight until you have the double weight in it. We also have smaller wheels. At this point, we have the standard size wheel is it's a 50 millimeter. We also have it half size and 2/3 size. So we have it in 25 and 38 millimeters wide. So you can play with the pressure on the gap of the sample. So we are well aware of the comparison which was done at the LSU, and we are well aware of the questions which occurred out of this comparison, and we can say that the machine you see here confirms the sinusoidal movement according to the AASHTO norm at this point. It measures as much as you want. You can measure a lot of points because it's a constant measurement, and in the background of the machine, there's a huge RTF file. So all the measurements and measurement points you predefine before you set up the machine will be stored in this RTF file, and the RTF file, which is at the end after 6 or 7 hours of running time, a huge file, of course. You can transfer automatically into your laptop and make further researches. Out of that, you can transfer it into an Excel file. You can make diagrams. You can just put it on a USB and take it out by USB, or you transfer it via Ethernet to whatever software you use. So the machine has the full connectivity to get all these measuring points into whatever system you may have, or you may want, or you may need.
So if I were to purchase an infraTest Hamburg wheel tracker, what does infraTest recommend for regular calibration and maintenance of your machines?
Yeah, there are two for calibration. There are, of course, two main points. Number one is you have to calibrate the displacement. You have on every arm, you have a displacement transducer. I would recommend that you calibrate this one with end mass with an end mass every year, for example. This is one thing. The other thing is, especially if you use rubber wheels, you have some friction on the rubber wheel. You have some wear on the rubber wheels. That after a certain time, the rubber wheel gets unround. You get a certain unroundness. We make this interview just before Easter, so you get more or less a big Easter egg, which is here on the machine, and you have to test this roundness. I also would say once a year, because the unroundness, if you have an Easter egg here on the machine, this goes directly in the measuring results. So displacement, roundness of the wheel, and of course function of PT100. We say that the 2-point testing for the PT100 is enough. You can easily make this is 37 degrees. Normally, if I don't get COVID, I have 37 degrees. And the other thing, you can just measure with a glass of ice water or something like that. If you want to have a temperature profile, which we also can provide and do, this is a little bit more complicated because you always have to wait until you get a certain temperature inside the machine, so that it is stable inside. So you need 3 or 4 hours for a more point temperature calibration. But for this kind of machine, I say a 2-point calibration is 2-point calibration should be enough. Maintenance, very simple. We have on every side we have 5 greasing points. So the greasing pistol and the grease comes with the machine, and you just put in, let's say, every Friday afternoon, you just make 2 per spot, and then the linear guidance will be greased enough to have another week of successful run. That's mostly the thing we need for maintenance.
So if I purchase a machine, we talked a little bit about parts. So what does infraTest offer for service of machines once I own a infraTest Hamburg wheel tracker?
There are no service parts provided because we don't need any service parts. Everything is designed for long time running, and whenever there is a problem with I don't know, with maybe mostly with an electronical part, we can find out pretty easy. We have always the possibility, if you as the customer allows us to plug into the machine, so we can, this machine is completely able to plug into the internet, so we can reach the machine from our service facility near Boston. So we can check the electronic needs of the machine, and then we know what is maybe wrong, and then we send the right spare part, and if needed, we send the right technician to fix it. So we have a normal USB connection or Ethernet connection, so we can go into the internet and run the machine or see the machine if you allow us to do it with TwinPure or whatever software you may use. Everything is possible. So for servicing, this is quite a really good feature. We even can operate and run the machine from our facility in Boston. So if you run out of people, we could do it from our headquarters there.
Got it. And then is training also available from Boston on the use of the machine as well?
Yes, we can make training from Boston, or we can make training from Germany. It depends on the region where you are. So in California, I would love to do it myself. Everywhere else, we have to discuss. I don't know. But not. You can have service provided from Boston, which is of course the cheapest way to make it or to do it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
And the guy who is doing the service, he's coming for training, and he's going for normally he's going to work for in our assembly department, so he knows quite well what to do and to do it quickly. This is the most important thing. We are not coming for service to drink coffee and talk. We are there for work.
That's a good point. So the people who do your training and also service the machines have spent time in the manufacturing facility.
Yes, right. That is one of our golden rules. Whenever we have someone outside doing the service, he had to be here for on a regular basis, and not to do a special service training, but to do the assembly. So he's there and doing the assembly, and sometimes he's losing some blood inside the machine, and this is this is the way how it should work.
So Matthias, if I purchase an infraTest machine, what do I need to do prior to installation of the machine in my building?
Firstly, you have to buy it, and whenever you buy it, at the beginning of the project, we will ask you what power supply you have. As I said at the beginning, we supply this machine to 100 countries, so we have maybe not 100, but we have a lot of different electricity provided. So we want to know in advance what we have to build, and so we get from the customer, we get the requirements, the electrical requirements, and then we design the machines according to these requirements which are necessary on site. As the machine is relatively, in electrical weight, relatively easy, we can just adjust the machine to most requirements which are from the electrical side needed from the customer. Whenever we put the plug in and the machine starts operating, and we see that we have this phase lamp or electrical requirement lamp. Whenever this thing is on, we know that everything was successful and the machine can run. So that's one requirement we have. And the other thing, of course, we have a normal water drain and water supply system on the back of the machine. It's nothing special, as long as you have somewhere a sink or you have a little bit of water. We just connect it with a normal water pipe. There is no pressure water pipes needed, just normal water pipes, and we put it in and connect it with the water system in the lab. Everything else is done by the machine. All the pump system is inside the machine. The filling system is inside the machine. The pumping, the drains, you see here the valve controls here in front of the machine. So everything else can be done here at in this machine manually. Fill machine, drain machine, as long as you have the pipes plugged to the machine at the end. If you forgot this, you have a mess.
So Matthias, in your opinion, what's next for the Hamburg wheel tracking test and other rutting index tests?
Hamburg wheel tracking is a really interesting device. It's widely used around the world, and interesting thing is that a lot of research institutes are going for adjustments. You know, this Hamburg wheel tracking test belongs to the group or family of performance tests. And what I found interesting at this point, there is a new ASTM standard. It's, I think, D89, 86 coming from New Zealand, where we are not working with fixed plates in the mold, where we have movable plates on two sides. So so you have not more or less pressure from the wheel on the sample, but you also have a pressure from two movable sides of the mold. So this is a mixture between a performance test, which we normally do in more complicated machines, and this long time performance test with the wheel. I think it's an interesting combination, and it could be a cheap combination, a cheaper combination to get the real performance of asphalt samples or asphalt plates measured in a machine you already have. I think this is an interesting thing.
Thank you to Matthias for representing infraTest. If you'd like to learn more about infraTest and its products, visit their website linked below. To learn more about LASTRADA, the world's leading construction materials testing software, visit our contact page to speak with one of our engineers.